Well, hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. Today I am working on a mermaid for the month of May. I will be doing a drawing every day for the month of May of a mermaid. So here is the official first mermaid for MerMay. And I decided to go ahead. I wanted to do a mermaid that kind of looked like one of them bubbly goldfish. You know, the ones I should have did more research. I didn't do any research really, except for I seen a picture of one of them, and it had these blue and yellowish and pinkish kind of colors and purples, and I thought it was really pretty. And it had these bubbles on its head, you know, those ones with those big bubbles on its head. So that was kind of what I wanted to go with this one, was kind of a bubbly head mermaid, goldfish mermaid. So, and it's not gold, of course, it's kind of pinks and purples. You'll see eventually when I get to that point that that's what it is. If you Google pretty fish and then you hit images, you'll probably be able to find the picture that I used as a reference for this. It's, well, yeah, you probably be able to find it because it was like on that front page, you know, when you're scrolling through and it's got all these different images. So I saw that one and I thought it looked cool, so that's what I ended up doing. And you can see I am using a mechanical pencil to draw in my mermaid, deciding where I want her to be and kind of what style I want her to be posed in. And once I get it figured out of everything that I want and I'm happy with like the bubbles on her head and stuff like that, I go ahead and I take a multi-liner pen, a really fine one, and I kind of just go in and trace all of my lines so I don't lose them, because I do want to get rid of all those pencil marks. I am using markers. If I was using colored pencils, I probably wouldn't worry about the pencil marks too much, because you can do some shading and blending and stuff with that and you kind of lose those. But with markers, if you mark over the pencils, they don't really blend. They just kind of lock in that color, so, or that pencil scratch, scribbly scratch. So I go ahead and I just erase all of that marker, or not all the marker. I erase all of the pencil marks. And then I go ahead and I put a thicker outline where I want, you know, the outside of the drawing, because I want it to kind of be bold. So I just go ahead and color that in with a thick outline with a thicker multi-liner pen, and then I start coloring in with some markers. So I don't really do too much lining before I do the marker work, because I kind of like to put my color in before I do a lot of line work. I feel like it keeps me from coloring outside of the lines, so it makes it a little bit easier that way. And I do use some colored pencils for this. I don't use a lot, just a little bit to kind of highlight some areas because they kind of pop. But I do love the colored pencils. I just don't have the time. There's a lot of sharpening. There's a lot of sharpening and blending and layering, and colored pencils take a long time. So we're going with markers. Markers are a lot faster to work with, and I do like the way they turn out. And I'm not going for like real realism like I would be if when I use the colored pencils. I like to use those when I'm really going for a realistic look. So yeah, we're just going to stick mostly with the markers, but use some of the colored pencils for highlights. And of course, I also use a Uniball Signo white gel pen for the highlights on like the white and the scales and on the bubble parts and in the eye usually and stuff like that. That one works the best for me. I have the most luck with it, so that's the one I use the most. And I will say I recently picked up some of these Caran Dash colored pencils, which are supposed to be like the best colored pencils. Now, I don't know that much about colored pencils except for that, you know, I used a little bit here and there. And I did have a set of Prismacolor Premier colored pencils that I have, and those work amazing. And I have, you know, I think they're awesome. But these Caran Dash colored pencils, they're pretty awesome too. I mean, they are really the best that I have used. So if there's a better colored pencil than Caran Dash, I'd love to hear about it. But this, when I Googled, you know, the best colored pencil, this was like the best colored pencil. So I bought some of those, and I will say they're pretty amazing. And like I said, not that there's anything wrong with the Prismacolor Premier Color pencils, because they look amazing too. It's just they're more blendable, they're a little more vibrant, they're easier to work with. The point stays a little pointy longer than the Prismacolor Premiers. Just little things, but they are definitely really nice. And if you have the extra money to spend on something like that, I would recommend giving them a try, especially if you struggle with colored pencils and you're not really sure why. Maybe you think that they're all the same, like I kind of used to. They're not. So yeah, they're pretty amazing. And here I am using the Speedball adhesive for the gold, the metal, the gold leaf, the not real gold leaf. I can't talk. Boy, this is going to be a month of this. Woohoo! A month of me not being able to talk during my video. So yep, I put that gold leaf on. I love the fake gold leaf. Works so much better than the real stuff. Looks just as good. So yeah, would definitely recommend if you're going to try gold leaf. You can get the real stuff. I mean, it looks good too, but this is so much easier to work with, and it looks just as good. And of course here, I always have to use a little bit of gold ink. I love that Dr. Phil Martin iridescent gold ink, so I use some of that just to kind of make the lines smooth around the edges, so they're, because it's kind of tattered on the edges. Not real bad, but just a little. So alright, thanks everybody so much. Here's day number 1 of MerMay. Here's my mermaid. Thank you all so much for watching. Love you guys. Hope you all have a great evening. And thanks to all my subscribers. You're awesome. You rock. Bye.